why do you think the African American church and black community have such a strong stigma around going to get help?
Well, it kind of starts from a historical perspective. If you grew up in the generations of your grandparents or your parents, there were a lot of experiments and a lot of things done to the community's physical body to advance medical practice, but at our expense. So you talked earlier about generational trauma.
Yes.
Part of the reason why there is a stigma around mental health is because I don't know if the space you provide is safe enough for me to tell you what's really wrong or how I really feel. And I don't know if you can bear the weight of my shame story. Can you handle the story that I have to tell?
Yes.
And if I don't believe you can handle it, my other question is, will you judge me now that you know my shame story? If I do something wrong, and you spoke earlier about having grace,
Yes.
if I did something wrong, will you bring up my shame story and promote what your ideology and beliefs are about me? Or will you have grace enough to usher me through or shepherd me through using the word of Christ, and we pray about it together, right? Amen. So that is the biggest challenge that has been told to me over and over and over again. And they seek out therapy, and you got to connect with the right therapist.
Right.
And every good therapist has a therapist, right? So we have to show up for you at 100%. So we have to be able to talk to other people so that we can show up for you at 100%. But that is one of the biggest reasons I see in the community, and I've been told is the reason why they don't seek out therapy. Can you bear the weight of my shame story? Is your space safe enough? Will you judge me, or will you help me with it? Can I trust you?
And then also, how can we recognize, with all the masks that are going on, with all that's going on with, said, our personal lives, how can we recognize someone who's truly hurting and needs some help before it becomes something worse that we do not want to happen?
That's a great question, but I'll answer it like this. Churches that I have talked to really across the country, I've recommended that they do a PSA type of messaging before and after the message. Meaning, I'm glad you all came today, and we're going to talk about whatever this is, but I want you to know we have services and people in the back or on the side that you can call, text, or go see if there is something that you're struggling with that we did not quite address today in this particular message.
Yes.
That resonates and connects. Oh, you know how they go see Deacon so-and-so,
right.
Mother so-and-so, for this or that. Or we have a whole table out in the front that has pamphlets and cards and QR codes. I've even seen them display it in the church. Like they'll have the Bible verses and then the QR code for if you need help.
Wow.
At the bottom of the message that's on the HD screens.
I had never thought about that, incorporating the resources that we have to help you into our services. Whether that be by pamphlet or, as you said, verbal, or whether that be by something you see, a sign that says, hey, you can get help here. I had never thought about incorporating something like that into a weekly service where people who truly need help can go and get the help that they need. My next question would be, people who don't have as much resources to, say, get a meeting with a psychiatrist, or people who feel like, a therapist is just too expensive for me. I've got bills, I've got this, I cannot afford a therapist right now, what would you say to them?
Well, thank you for that question. We have several national and local resources. They can text 988. It is a suicide and crisis line. And they have several departments and people that work behind that line to get you the help you need. If you're in crisis and you do text 988, they will even send a mobile crisis unit to your home if things have escalated based on the initial contact. They can also call. They have text options as well, and chat bots that are monitored by licensed clinical therapists that can help, with counselors. So if they can't afford it, don't have time, working 3 jobs.
Yes.
As I've met many people through community forums as this one that would just come up and just sort of start talking about whatever's going on. And I would always give them resources and have pamphlets or a website for them to connect with that will meet them where they are, whether it's virtually or in person.
Yes. And also, me as a preacher and a leader in the church, I feel like we have a responsibility as shepherds over God's sheep to take care of our people, to know our people, and to make sure that our people have the best support that they can get. What would you recommend to pastors, preachers, youth ministers to do, maybe weekly, quarterly assessments or checks with their people to kind of get a sense of where they are mentally, spiritually, or even financially, to see where or how their ministry could support them?
Well, I would suggest you putting something on your website, and they can either disclose who they are or not, to talk about, let's do a check-in. How are you doing today, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and give them a rating. 1 meaning not so good, 10 meaning great. And if they want, have them have the opportunity to fill out to say, hey, I need someone to call me back to talk about this with different dates and times. People will engage more on the website, and you can disclose resources on the website.
Yes.
If they would go in and fill out some of those things. That's been a game changer for many small and large ministries. And then what ends up happening is if they have enough interest, they will bring in that resource, or they will have a community event where the resources are there for the church and for those individuals. So the website has been a key game changer for that, to do a check-in. What's your check-in today?
Yes. I think that's good. While you were saying this, I was just thinking to myself about social media as well, and how we put so much on social media, but why don't you put a link there where someone could put in a prayer request,
right,
or they need to talk to someone about such and such various things. And I think that's a very good idea to have, to put something where people can fill out, and whether they want to disclose who they are or not, they have that option. Because I think what's most important is not who the person is, but what the person is dealing with,
right,
and how we can help them and get them back running where they once were.
Right. And have those resources if they're going through things and they're anonymous. These are the resources and links that are available if you need to talk to someone, right? So having that right in the fill out sheet or fill out form that you have available would be useful. So like you said, even if they didn't disclose, they still got the resource on how they can help themselves in a more anonymous manner.
Yes. And also, from a clinical view, what are, say, 3 things you suggest we do daily just to make sure we personally are in the right place that we need to be emotionally, or mentally? Because so many times I don't think people recognize they're depressed when they are depressed. they just pick up depression habits, whether it be sleeping all day, whether it be not wanting to eat, not wanting to talk, not wanting to be around anyone, without actually realizing, hey, I'm depressed. What are 3 things that we could do to kind of check in with ourselves and make sure that, hey, we're okay?
Well, that's a good question. If you find yourself being irritated all the time, or you find that you're having sleepless nights, or you find that when you think about thoughts that are negative, they get stuck, meaning it's hard to pull yourself away from that negative thought. Those are signs that we might want to check in with someone. And when I say check in, that could be with your youth minister, that could be with resources on the website, or that could be, hey, let me type this out and see if someone will call me back and assist me. The other thing that I find that people miss too, that we don't talk a lot about, is those that are struggling with grief and loss. And what sometimes we tend to do is work a lot.
Yes.
We stay busy so much, but that is a classic avoidant technique because we are not emotionally ready to deal with some of the uncomfortableness that comes with that. So if you find yourself working all the time, yes, we need to pay bills and all of that, but no, working when you are tired and you still volunteer to do one more thing.
Right.
When your plate is runneth over, but you still are, you're compassionately fatigued.
Yes.
That might be a good time to stop and check in
Right.
with you, minister, about those things, or check in with the resources that you have available on your website.
Yes, ma'am.
Or to have them text or call, a crisis line. Sometimes you just sort of need that.
Right.
But as you just stated, sometimes we don't know. You may suggest if you're in the bed all day, if you have little or no energy, if you're constantly worried, if you're always irritable, if you have negative thoughts, half of the time, or you have recurrent negative night terrors, or you talk negatively all the time. It's a time to check in. That's times when you need to kind of stop, take inventory, and check in.
Yes. And also on that line of grief, how would you say, because some people try to console people who are grieving and just do not do the best job. Whether we say something, say too much, whether we don't say anything when something needs to be said, how do we best support people around us who are dealing with grief?
So that is a good question. Many times it's going to depend on the individual, but what we have to remember when somebody is grieving, that this is the way they're navigating pain, and the way they navigate may be different from your value system and your belief system. So when someone is navigating through pain, I've often just asked the question of, do you need me today? Not, are you all right? Do you need me to do something for you? What you're doing is giving that person the permission to tell you either what's wrong or to open up to you about how they feel.
Right.
It's very rare that people that are grieving are asked, do you need me today? I'm here for you. That is not overcrowding the person. That's not encroaching on the way you would handle things. Because I think people do that. They try to do it out of love, not realizing that is not the way a person sometimes handles grief.
Right.
So simply saying, do you need me today? I'm here. It is a lifeline and a light, but it also allows the person room to grieve in the space that they need at that time.
Yes. And over the years of your professional work, how have you seen the mental state of our youth change, say from when you started to where you are now?
Well, when I started, I saw more youth, even if it wasn't speaking to the parent or caregiver directly, they would always have a pastor or minister to come to talk about things, or their coach, or someone significant in their life that they trust. Now what I see is youth trying to navigate their emotions and using social media as a way or as an example for them to handle it. And sometimes going on social media to pour out all of your pain,
yes,
can be dangerous at times.
Right.
Can be very dangerous. But that also tells me, because I've had reels and several things sent to me, I said, I'd rather you send it to your therapist or someone you could trust. Because when you open yourself, your pain up to the world, you are more vulnerable to individuals who have ill intentions. If you open up online and say, I've been through a terrible domestic violence incident, look at my face, look at what's going on, and you're constantly sort of going on about that, you'll attract what I call wolves in sheep clothing.
Yes.
Because they'll know exactly how to come in and manipulate you because they know you're at your most vulnerable. That's why it's important that they go to a safe space and place, something like what your ministry is proposing, for youth that are going through those things can come and know they're not judged. You're really here to help.
Yes.
But you're also here to educate on how they can become their own biggest advocate in a safe way.
Yes. Also, with parents, our youth always have kind of, once they hit the middle school age, teenage age, have always butted heads with their parents. But say in time past, the butting heads may have not been healthy, but you didn't have to worry about your child's life being, taken by themselves. But today, we still have that constant butting heads of when that age kind of flips and changes. But also, we now have this apparent threat of suicide and this threat of bullying on social media. How can we be able to get over that age of where kids start feeling themselves and they feel like they're kind of grownish in a way, but also be able to maintain their sanity and make sure that the parents can still have communication with their child while this time of friction is going on?
One of my colleagues talks about this on our Urban Healers podcast. One of the episodes is my mother a bully? And that particular therapist talks very frankly about being open and honest, or having designated times to have those talks. So instead of negotiating or, sort of butting heads about the latest fashion choices or the hair color or the piercing, that are going on, hey, let's go get ice cream. Let's, as you said, take you out of this element that I'm dominant over because I'm the parent to pay the bills. And let's go, to get ice cream or ice skate or go to the zoo or the park. Some place where we're not looking at dominance, we're looking at how we can reconnect or connect. Daughter, I know you love going to, see the animals or the dolphins at whatever.
Right.
Make a date. Make a play date or a date with your kids, and then have them sort of provide ideas about what they want that to look like. we just took all the wind out of the sail over the argument 5 minutes ago.
Right.
We
Right.
just took all the wind out of, mom or dad's got their hand on their hip, or, doing the nod thing, or this is my house,
Right.
Let's go go-karting, or let's go fix up cars, or go to a bike show or car show. As you just stated earlier, taking them away from that environment where they don't feel like they have power. And so they're sort of negotiating and butting heads in that space that they know they don't have power.
Right.
And put them in a neutral setting.
Wow, that's amazing. Pertaining to mental and emotional health, is it that we don't honor everybody, or we don't meet people where they are? Is it that we don't give people enough grace when they mess up? Is it that we don't...
I heard you talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
Not that I was listening, but
Yes,
you
yes,
did make some
yes.
powerful statements.
Is it that we
earlier.
don't accept people for who they are? I always say accept them for who they are, and then we raise them up to the standard. We don't try to beat the standard in them, but we bring them up to where we want them to be.
Well, why do you think other groups, even if it's under a religious framework, have a much larger youth program or participation than, say, our churches?
I'd say because they pour into their youth. Church, when it comes to growing your congregation, it could be a constant cycle. If you pour into the children of those who are already in your church, the children will remember. Like I said on the phone, it's all about how you make people feel. If you make those children feel seen, feel heard, they will always come back and support that church. And then you do the same thing with their kids, and so on and so on. And then it becomes this cycle of all of these children of the original people who are in your church have now come back because of what you poured in them. Churches have so many resources, specifically the Black church. We have so many resources. There are so many dollars in the Black church, but not any of them. Well, I'm not going to say any of them, but not a lot of them are being invested in our church. I believe every Black church that has over a certain amount of say, members should have a scholarship. New Bethel should have a scholarship. No matter what it is, no matter the size of the church, they should have some money set aside to give at least one child something to go and study abroad or study somewhere, get some more education. Because what we fail to realize is that person can bring back so much knowledge that we didn't get to get because of various circumstances. Whether it be we didn't have enough money, whether it be we didn't have a situation that allowed us to go to school, whether it be you had a child early, so now you got to take care of your kid instead of going to school, whether it be you got to work to survive, so you don't have that luxury of going to school. But I believe that if we invest in them, they will invest in us. I think my job as a youth minister is to make these children feel like they're seen, and make sure that these children feel like they're heard by a God that they truly cannot see.
Well, that is pretty powerful.
Yeah, it's hard to believe in something that you can't feel, touch, or see physically. But I think one of the greatest gifts that God has given us is our testimonies. And those aren't shared in churches any longer because we don't have the amount of time as we used to. So many people are dealing with things. So many people are struggling with things that they don't feel like they can talk about or talk to in a church because testimonies aren't shared anymore. I always talk about my own problems. I am a hypochondriac. When anything hurt, my finger hurt and I think I'm going to die. I am a hypochondriac. But when I look next door to someone else and I see their struggles and I see their pain, and it makes me feel like I'm okay. Because I know if they have their struggles, they have their pain, and they're still mentally and emotionally okay, satisfied. That's what I need to be. And I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions about joy. Joy is not happiness, because happiness is you being happy of what's going on right then. Happiness is what's happened currently. Like, I would have been happy when Kamala Harris would have won the presidency. But joy is something that's consistent. Joy is something that does not change, because joy is a constant feeling of satisfaction. No matter I'm rich, no matter I'm poor, no matter I'm eating Bojangles, or no matter I'm eating at Ritz-Carlton, I have joy because I'm satisfied with what I have.
Well, that's a good segue to the question I have to ask you.
Okay.
And it's a question that I haven't seen many people answer, whether it be on the YouTube channel when they're delivering to their big congregations.
Yes, ma'am.
Or their small gatherings. I just haven't heard anyone talk about this. And what I wanted to ask you was, what role do you believe faith and spirituality can play when helping young people to cope with some of the challenges of loneliness, the pressures of school, and how social media impacts that?
Well, I think the church has to really have programs that really listen to its congregation. Not just our youth, but also the adults, because it's the adults' lives that will ultimately affect our youth. If a mother has trauma in her life or trauma in her past, it is such a greater percentage of that trauma falling on to that child. We've seen it when we watch reality TV shows of these Dr. Phil show, about where we see children dealing with the trauma that came from their parents because of their parents not having the access to go and get help. And it's not that they didn't necessarily want help, it's just they didn't have the avenue to go get help. The church is not outside standing on a corner saying, hey, we have free clinics here, come talk to this therapist, we have this. The church is not on the corner saying everything's going to be okay, baby, just hold on, it'll get better soon. The church is not out there talking about, hey, let's have this Bible study because we want to be able to grow not only spiritually but emotionally so that we can get through some of these struggles that all of us are dealing with. Because at the end of the day, we're all dealing with something. We all have something that we're struggling with in this world. Whether it be emotional, physical, financial, we're all struggling with something. But because those avenues have not been accessible at a rate that's going to do something, people just fall back and allow the traumatic situations and allow their emotional hurt to fall on generation after generation after generation. And what we have a cycle is of people who are hurt and they truly don't know why.
Well, that is a very good point. And the point that you made about passing that trauma down generationally is real. We see it in a lot of our youth today.
Yes, ma'am.
According to the CDC, 40% of our high school students struggle with sadness and hopelessness.
Yes.
So sometimes when parents react or interact, children are paying attention to that. So it's not about what they say, it's more about what they do.
Yes, yes.
So if I see mom, dad, or a caregiver, grandparent, or extended relative, or an auntie react to things in a negative manner, then I might react negatively about a challenge that I'm having, or a child is having, or a kid, a young adult is having.
Yes.
So they sort of mirror and model what they see. And, as a licensed clinical social worker associate, I see a lot of times parents struggling with making the connection. How do I speak to my daughter, my son, my young adult, my teenager? Or why do they get upset at so many things when I'm not talking to them in that way?
Yes.
And I have to sit down and explain to them, they're modeling how you adjust and react to challenges. And so without them knowing the correct way, they're going to duplicate what they see. So, with that said, and with those statistics that I read, the other statistic I'm seeing is a big increase in suicidal ideations, negative thoughts.
Yes.
And I'm curious to know, what has been your experience when you talk to the youth about those type of things?
Yes. I think, as you said, the suicide rates are going through the roof, if you ask me, especially upon our young people. And I think the biggest thing that's causing that is comparison. Comparing me to you, and you to me.
Okay.
I think we look at social media and we compare our lives that we deal with day to day to what somebody's choosing to show. People on social media don't show their everyday life, but they show their everyday good moments. They show the things that they win at. They show the things that they're good at. But we as human beings, we are things that aren't good at everything. We're not good at everything. We hurt, we have emotional hurt, but we choose not to show that side. And I think that's what's causing some of these emotional problems. Comparison to others. Even here in the church, people come to church all the time with a mask on, with their nice suits, with their nice dresses, a little spray of Estelado on, or whatever perfume they choose to use, and we think everything's okay with them. But I like this this way of putting it. It's like our phone. My phone is on dark mode, but I can have my brightness all the way up, to where you see the brightness and the light of someone who's possibly doing well, but eternally it's dark. Eternally I'm sad. Internally I'm feeling some type of way, but it's what I choose to show you that gives you the assumption that everything is pitch perfect in my life. And I think those people who put on the mask, they don't open up the question to people or the conversation to people who don't put on a mask. We see people who don't put on a mask and are truly hurt. But us with our mask on, we don't allow the conversation to happen between the person who doesn't have a mask and the person who does, because we want to keep face. We want to keep our pride, and we want to keep that reputation of everything's okay with I, rather than me having a heart-to-heart to someone else who's really struggling, who's really in pain. And I think that's where so many people are getting lost, because they're coming to churches in pain, in grief, in agony, but they're not getting the help that they truly deserve, because so many of us have a mask on and we fail to be able to open up and talk about our struggles as well. So that person feels lonely.
Well, that is a great point. There is a lot of loneliness, a lot of hopelessness. And sometimes people will isolate. So like you just said, they'll present like everything is fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then we hear stories about self-harm events that occur, and letters are left to say that we were not fine.
Yes.
And so with that said, with your innovative approach to ministry, I liken it to, say, a church without walls.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel would help young people come back into, if not the sanctuary, a community center?
Yes.
A youth center, a place where they can meet and talk about things without feeling judged?
Absolutely. I think we have to create an organic space. The church has caused so much hurt and so much trauma, to where the church is kind of deemed already as a space that causes hurt. So I think getting outside of sometimes a physical building, or creating an environment that shifts the feeling of someone who's been hurt, is the first step. Creating that environment. I'm not saying that we can't do it in a church, but try to find an inviting way that attracts people to come to your church, especially younger people. Younger people these days in 2025, they're not so much about caring about what you say, but they see the actions, as you said, of what you do. You know, so many churches can say we've got the best, we're the best church, you know, we've got this, we've got that. But our kids are out in the community. They want to see you out in the community. They want to see you passing around those turkeys at Thanksgiving time. They want to see that you're just not all talk, but that you also practice what you preach. And I think that is so important to a thriving church, that they are out and seen by their community. So many times today, churches are known by who their pastor is or who's preaching on several Sundays, because the pastor has gotten larger than the ministry. But what needs to happen is people know the church not by what they're doing inside of the building, but by what the church is doing outside of the building. And then once we are seen as a church, as a place that connects with the hopeless, as a place that connects with the broken, as a place that connects with the people who have addictions and various other things, then we are taking on the characteristics of Jesus. Working outside of the synagogue, outside of the tabernacle. That's what we need to become. And then people will start trusting us. They'll start letting their guard down to where we can get to the root of some of these problems that are hindering us from growth.
That is amazing and a great place to start. So now what you're introducing or proposing is that the churches need to have more connection, more community outreach with some of the resources that can actually help people that are struggling with mental health services.
Yes.
Right. And so instead of doing things inside of the church, maybe connecting in a community outreach that promotes health and wellness.
Right.
And invite the youth to these health and wellness events to start to promote what community really is all about.
Absolutely.
And how many places and spaces are out there that can assist with healing on top of understanding the Word of God.
Yes.
Putting the Word of God in action.
Yes, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, what's more important? People coming to your specific physical building, or you doing the will of God, helping people, recovering people, saving souls? What's more important? Your ministry individually, how many people you have in a church on Sunday, or the impact that you're putting out into your own community? Church used to be a cornerstone of the community, but now we've seemed to become a place of theatrical events that happen weekly. We've become a place of, I would say, a country club. We've become a status place where people can come and have on the best hat, best clothes, pull up in the best car. Our church, for so long in the Black and African American community, has become a place where we come and show off what we have to the community, a communal ground where we come and we display that we're doing okay, instead of what it was initially supposed to be, a place for the hurt, a place for the people who were struggling, and a place to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. We've turned it into a status and a country club type of way.
And getting back to maybe moving from that space back into the community, would you find it helpful to have community resources, like urban healing counseling, like Southlight Healthcare, like Monarch Services, to come in or come to a central place, a common ground place, to start sharing some of the resources that are out there that can actually help people with not just with mental health, but what about transportation needs?
Yes.
What about those that are experiencing housing insecurity?
Yes.
Food insecurities? What about college students that are struggling and no one else really knows it, right?
Absolutely.
So having the church become the central point of safety, but connected to community resources, so that you don't have to be a member to come.
Absolutely.
Because we as the church are here to fulfill what the Bible says.
Yes.
And the Bible says,
But yeah, the Bible says to love others and do unto others as you do unto yourself. And they even say, the Bible even says that they shall know us by the love that we share, by the love I treat my enemies, by the way I treat my enemies. I ought to greet them first with love and not with just a rod. And I think as far as those community navigations and those community fields that are out there doing the work, like a Southlight, and I know Southlight very well. I saw recently a great community worker, Mr. James Montague, is now on their board. I believe in the works that they're doing, and also Urban as well. But I think that what we have to do as a church is make those connections outside of these walls.
Right.
We have to truly understand that the church does not have all the answers.
Right.
Or either the church does have some answers, but they're here in the pews and people aren't given the opportunities to show their gifts. I believe that everybody may not be able to preach, but everybody has a ministry. Whether that be in emotional help or mental help, whether it be you are a physician, make you being a physician your ministry. Make you being an author your ministry. We have so many gifts and talents in the church that God has given to his people. But we just need to allow the space and the room for people to come and show their gifts. Open up. There's so many different talents that our youth have in the church. And I think that's another reason why they're turning away. But we are so close-minded to where we would rather bypass them and allow them to walk out the door than pull them in and allow them to express their wonderful gifts. Whether it be singing, dancing, whatever the gift may be, photography, find a way to where you can implement that gift inside of your church. Find a way to where you can bring these community resources inside of your church. Because I believe that there is no such thing as a church without community. If your church is not outside in the community, then I question what type of church you have. Because there are so many different community resources that are more than willing to partner with churches. But the church has to be able to take a step too and say, hey, I want to invite you in and I want to bring you in because my congregation is struggling with this. I saw one pastor, I believe in California, he was baptizing around 800 of his congregants in one Sunday. And he realized as he was dipping them and bringing them back up, a lot of my congregation is heavy. So what he immediately did was find resources to to educate his congregation about healthy eating, about exercising, about ways to substitute your cravings and your meals for a healthier option. Every church ought to do that. You see your congregation is struggling with something, find a resource that will supply their needs and even educate yourself to be able to stand in the gap for what resources the church may lack.
That is wonderful, and I definitely agree with you, and I hear your passion, your power, and your purpose coming through your message on today. And so we are so grateful, and I'm so grateful to have met you and connected with you.
Likewise.
And I hope to connect with you further to explore those community options and inviting those community resources in, because what will bring people in the church is if you have what they need. Yes. Are you experiencing food insecurities? Are you having housing challenges? Are you in transitional spaces that are unsafe?
Right.
Those types of things will bring people out, because just like you're saying, you're addressing the real need. You're coming from a biblical place that addresses the people, and the people have a purpose. And you want them to realize that purpose and share those gifts and talents with the community and the church. Yes. So that more people that look like them, that have been through the same things that they have done, will come and see that there is a light. And it starts from within, but you got to admit you need help first.
Absolutely. The question that I have for you is, what role has the church played in the cases that you've seen of emotional and emotional and mental hurt or emotional and mental damage that you've seen across not just our community, but in all communities, what role has the church played in that?
Well, I do treat patients that suffer from what's called spiritual trauma and moral injury. So it is where we are taught certain things depending on whatever your religious beliefs are. We ascribe to them because we want to live purposely and correctly, but then life shows up. Those types of teachings don't necessarily teach us how to navigate knowing if a relationship is right or wrong.
Right.
How to navigate it, not to be manipulated. How to know when you're in an unsafe place or with unsafe people who have ill intentions. So when something negative happens, you're violated in a way, whether you're verbally, physically, or experience sexual abuse or emotional, verbal abuse. We don't know how to take what we've been taught and apply it to real situations.
Yes.
And because there's a disconnect there, I don't know how to navigate how I feel if I'm having identity issues or a crisis. The words that I've been taught are more punitive and tell me I'm nothing, I'm going to hell, I am not loved, I am not lovable. So what that person ends up doing is going out to find that in other spaces and places. And when they even hear the word preacher or hear a word spoken, that disconnected them from who they are. So they're like, I can't go to that space. It's not safe. It's punitive. It's full of judgment. And I think those judgments make me resentful.
Yes.
So now that person becomes angry. They do things that state that they're angry. Well, not just cutting your hair or changing your clothes or looks, but we're going to call ourselves something different than what we are, because what we were, you didn't let me stand in who that is. You didn't let me find out in a safe way and explore what that looks like for that individual. You told them things, but I go to a home that doesn't live what you just said. They come and show their hats and all of the good things. But at home struggling, at home not having the resources that they need, or at home and not feeling like they can really show up as themselves because the words and the ideologies that they've been taught says that they are not good enough.
Wow. And also with that, I don't know as well as you do about all of the mental and emotional things that the church can do. So my next question would be, where do you think the church can most fill the gap with the resources we have now to better prepare and better heal our congregants?
Well, some things that I know some of the churches are starting to do, and ministries like yours, is make the word come alive in 2025. We know in the Bible the Lord says, Psalms 23, the Lord is my shepherd.
Yes.
But what does that mean in 2025?
Right.
So in your ministry, you're making the connections of the foundation of the Word of God, and you're making it real to the individuals that you talk to. You'll say, well, this is what I went through. This was my testimony. Here's how the Lord helped me out. I not only prayed about it, I sought resources that God has put in place that helped elevate the situation. So he put the super on my natural, gave me favor. And now I'm here to testify to you today about my situation without guilt and without shame.
Wow.
That's what I know your ministry is doing.
Wow, amen. Put my super to my natural. Wow.